Communication is the base of any community. Without person-to-person communication, nothing would function. The first thing that a child learns is how to communicate with its mother. Without a shared method of communication, or ability to do so, we would not be able to convey our feelings, thus ending up feeling alone. It is fascinating to me that even people who do not share a common language or method of communication are able to do just that. So how different do language barriers really make us? The question I set out to answer is, how does the lifestyle of a deaf person differ from that of a hearing person? I enrolled in an American Sign Language class to study in what ways ASL is similar to and different from the spoken language of English. By also observing the professor, I've learned how being deaf has made her lifestyle different from that of people who are able to hear. Along with my professor, I also interviewed another ASL professor at BCC. Lastly, I interviewed a fellow student who is the mother of a deaf person. The most notable attribute of those who are deaf is that they do not feel handicapped at all. Instead, they feel empowered by their lack of hearing. There is a sort of deaf pride among the hearing impaired that I find to be incredible. Speaking with Professor Mary, I can see that not only do they not feel pity for themselves, but oftentimes the deaf feel badly for those of us who can, as we cannot appreciate the world and life as they do. From my conversation with Charlene, I have come to realize that the hearing capable and the hearing incapable see the world in drastically different ways. Charlene has two daughters. One is deaf and the other is not. Charlene sees her daughter's deafness as a drawback in life, though the deaf people I have interacted with do not see it this way.
It's kind of hard being the parent of a deaf kid, in the sense that you want them to be as normal as possible. I know we started this class and our teacher is very pro-deaf, whatever. I honestly believe that if I could have fixed Erica's deafness, just like you could fix a broken arm, a broken cochlea, I would have fixed it. But I don't have that sense of deaf pride that somebody who's been like our teacher in a family for years. I just think, as a hearing person, I think there are things that deaf people don't know that they miss that we can appreciate. Maybe the opposite is true as well. I don't know.
It is interesting to note that there is cultural centrism on either side. Though we may see it as a handicap since we are able to hear and enjoy such things as music, the deaf are as proud as anyone to be who they are and the way they are. Generally, the deaf grow up quite normally, around people not unlike themselves. They attend schools for the deaf and grow up around those that are able to sign and communicate with them freely. They grow up quite normally, without being ostracized and made to feel as if they are different in a negative way. The major questions that this research has raised are about the future. With the advancement in technology, there is no doubt that there will be a way to fix deaf people's hearing completely. Once people have the choice, will anyone choose to be deaf? If not, what will happen to the deaf culture? Will it be lost in history along with the language and the worldviews of the deaf? So how do deaf people differ from people of hearing? They don't. When it comes down to it, the deaf are regular people, just using a different language to communicate. It is just like people of another culture speaking in their native language, such as German or Spanish. They don't have a handicap. They just see the world in a different light. Though they may not be able to enjoy all the same things in life that hearing-capable people are able to enjoy, this does not faze the hearing-incapable. There are so many aspects of life that are so enjoyable that no one person can ever discover them all. Though the deaf may not be able to speak our languages, that does not mean they don't have a voice. Their hands are powerful instruments that they have been able to use to communicate. After all, people will always find a way to